Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for this episode 14 on No Man's Land with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, as you can see, some time has passed. I have just been taking care of our chores, so to speak. Our money has gone up. That's due to our processing of our lime and selling it. And of course our biogas plant income, and we've had to keep on top of our pallets. As we found out last episode, there is a 50 pallet limit now on console, so we can't leave our pallets sit around, so I've been selling those. But if we look at our productions here, oops, and we scroll up, we can see we're out of grass. But as luck would have it, our grass just is ready to mow. So that's the job we're going to get on to here next. So I'll meet you down by the PGA. Wow, you can see our grass now is all at the same state, so it's all caught up. And we have not only the grass on our hillside, but now all the grass over in behind our PGA that we're going to mow. And so that's what we're going to be up to here. Get our mower unfolded. I don't know if we'll leave all that area in grass over there or if we'll end up putting a field in, but for now we're going to grass it. We've got to see how our fermenting silo and our BGA as far as capacities work with each other and how much grass we need. Like I say, we're out of grass, we're just about out of silage. So this will take us some time to get all of this mowed, I'm sure. Now, one thing we do need to purchase here fairly shortly is our crops are going to be ready, and we're going to need to purchase a harvester of some sort. As we recall, we've sold the muscle mash. After that, I'm not sure. We'll definitely be buying some more land, but whether we've got that offer of the land that the machine shop is sitting on, or if we'll buy a piece by the farm to put the cows on, haven't quite decided yet. Once our crops are ready, we'll have what the materials we need to make TMR. Oh, you know what we don't have? We haven't made any hay yet. That's something we need to take a look at. Looks like I'm going to have to lift both of these up here. And I think what we'll do is we'll put in some kind of dryer for the hay rather than to ted it. That way we'll only need to, we won't need any other equipment to make our hay. Anyways, I'll get this all mowed up. I know you watched me do a bunch of mowing last time, but I just wanted to share with you that this was ready and it needed to be done. So I'll get this done, and then I'll probably look at some type of grass dryer next when I bring you back in, because we should probably throw some of this in there so we've got hay. So we'll have hay, silage, and then our straw. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Well, our grass is all mowed and ready for pickup, but right now I'm down here. I'm actually just on the plot of land east of the farm. And the reason for that is I think we're going to purchase this here. It's a nice flat area, and this is where I was thinking of putting the cattle pen. But I also think we're going to need to put our grass dryer down here. I looked at doing it up by the BGA, but the footprint was a little too large to fit in there. I'd have to blow out the fence, and I thought it might be handy to have it down here as well. So we're going to do that. And if we go into construction mode here and take a look, it has the additional benefit, get face the right direction here, is we'd have this flat or this area we could mow in for grass in the meantime, but we can extend our field out too here quite a ways, probably over to about here, I'd say. So I think that's how we're going to spend some of our money right now. So I'll go ahead and do that. So we'll buy that. We'll go back into construction motors. I should have just stayed there. Under productions, factories, the one I was looking at. There's a few of them out there, but this one here just takes grass and makes hay. You don't need to add any straw like there's this one here. It makes silage and hay, but you need to add straw to get your hay produced, and there's a couple of them like that. But this one's a little cheaper, and it just takes the grass, and we don't have an abundance of hay right now, or sorry, abundance of straw. So I'm just gonna, what I want to do is line this up with the road. Actually, you know, that looks close enough to get things kind of pointed in the right direction. Now we want to leave as much room up to the north as we can, so we'll come down here. There, we're crossing the line. I was trying to see what the actual cost is. Oh, look at that. Only $54 for landscaping there, so that's got to be a pretty flat spot. And that should give us plenty of room to get around. The outspout there you can see is on the right hand side. So we have enough room to get around the tree, so that should work pretty good, I think. Yeah, so dump it in here. Take it out here, and our cattle shed be to the north of here. Should work just fine. Now I'll come in and landscape us in a trail here off camera. But right now, we need to get the grass picked up, and some of it I want to bring down here so that we've got some hay on the go. So, well, we take a look around. We can see I've got quite a pile of grass to pick up. This is one of the jobs that you can actually do pretty easily in cab. But speaking of grass, I had a couple things I wanted to chat about while we were doing this. I was thinking when I was mowing all this, we might be better served to actually plow out some of the couple of good sized areas, and so we can double fertilize. And if you may recall, we do get one fertilizing state when we cut this map grass, if you want to call it that. But what I thought I'd do is I'll do a little test here on no man's land, just mark out an area see how much grass we get when we mow it without doing anything, and then I'll plow it out and actually put in grass so we can double fertilize and make sure it's worth it, because it's still going to want to have a fairly good size area. But I thought if we could plow it out and gain this flat spot down here where I'm at right now for another arable field, that'd probably be more efficient. And another thing, I had a friend I play with on a multiplayer on the Farmer's Engine in the Farm Sims, and he has shared something with me I thought was a great idea. What he does is he plants oats as early as possible, and it has the shortest growing season. He takes the oats off, and then he immediately plants grass. He gets one cutting of grass before he has to put the oats back in. So I think we're going to do that on one of our fields, because that'll work out pretty good for us. The oats we can run through the flour mill to get flour, and of course we can use the straw. So I think we're going to give that a try. But before I do that, I want to see how our grass or fermenting silo keeps up with the PGA, and kind of come up with an idea how much grassland we're actually going to need. A little bit, don't want to end up with too little, but if we have way too much, I guess we could always put in another fermenter. They're not that expensive, but just kind of want to see how these two run together and how much grass we actually need, and then take a guess. Anyways, you can see I'm going to be doing this for a little while. Oh, there's our first load there. I think I'll take this down to our new dryer and get that on the go. And I know that fermenter is pretty quick, but I'm using it on another map I play on, and it's, barely keeping up with the biogas plant, but it's, I think, the largest in-game biogas plant that's on that map. It is keeping up, but we just want to have enough grass to keep up with the whole business. You guys might as well stick around, seeing as this is our first load. Be a little bit yet before we can get our cow pen in, because we do need to do something about a harvester here pretty quick. But with our lime business and our biogas fund should pop back pretty quick. And of course this winter we'll do a little logging again. Not to the extent we did last winter though. And I'll landscape us in a track across here. Yeah, if you look at our productions, it'll be the one on the very bottom, I'm sure. And we will turn that on, and we should start to see some hay. So I'll carry on with this and get this grass picked up. Like I said, I'll bring another load for sure down, maybe another couple, and the rest I'll throw in our fermenter, and I'll bring you back in when I get all that done. Catch up with you in a minute. Well, I got all the grass picked up. We ended up with about 500,000 liters in our fermenting silo and another 150,000 in our dryer that's being processed to grass. If we take a look at our fermenting silo here, to our productions, and you can see just over 500,000. You'll see I put the silage on distributing. I have done that before. It worked just fine. When I first tried it on this map, it didn't seem to be working. But I guess I mustn't have waited until the top of the hour. I must have thought I had, but I didn't, because that's when everything gets transferred. But you can see it's getting pushed through here to our fermenter 2000 or 200, and because I didn't deliver that. So that does seem to be working now. So that means we can get rid of this trailer because we bought it just to transport the silage, so I don't think we need it. So we're going to take a little bit of a hit on that, but it was a fairly pricey unit from what I recall, so we might as well get something back anyway. And I also noticed that we have a couple other chores we need to do. Went up, and when I was collecting the grass by the olives, I noticed they need to be mulched in between the rows, and I don't believe we have a mulcher for orchards or olive groves. What's on the back of the tractor? Cultivator. So we need to pick one of those up, and if we go back into here, you can see that we have just about filled our storage capabilities on our dryer. So we need to pick up that solid fertilizer and take it back. So I think maybe that's what we'll do first. Actually, I wonder. I parked these two because that's what I was using. That's what I'm going to be using right away. A little bit of a size difference between those two pieces of gear. But I guess size doesn't matter as long as it gets the job done. I'm going to hook onto this trailer and see if, I can't remember if it's just forage or if it takes everything. We'll see if we can throw that fertilizer in here. Yeah, I was sure I'd done it properly, but obviously I had not. We haven't had this trailer very long, so we get most of our money back anyway. Can't think of any other reason to keep it, really. Now, oops, too tall to get under our pipe even. No, it must just be forage. Well, I'm going to run this back to the store, and at the same time I'll pick up a mulcher for our olives, and so we can get that taken care of. So I'll meet you at the store. Well, let's see what we're going to get back for that. Gee, we hardly took any paint off it. So yeah, $17 to repair it. I was told that you're better off to repaint these. You'll get your money back. So let's just put that to the test here. So 89, 172. So that'll be just 91, just about 92. So we'll repaint that, and now we'll sell it. We got a little bit extra $300 back, but we'll sell that. Oh, you know what? We might as well repair our tractor while we're here, seeing as we've got it at the shop. All right, let's go over here and see what we've got for a mulcher. I guess that would be under the mulch category, I suppose. 1 meter. Excuse me. 1.4, 2.2. I think this is the one we need here. Yeah, perfect for farming. Yeah, we don't have the horsepower for that one. So, all right, we might as well buy that because our olives aren't going anywhere. See if our case can pick up this mulcher. You know, might be asking a lot of it, but might as well at least haul it to the farm. It's got a faster road speed than our little, I keep wanting to call it orchard tractor, but it's not, it really isn't. It's an olive grove. So I don't know if you call that a grove tractor. I have no idea. Oh boy, that thing looks small on there. Anyways, you know what? I'll get this back to the farm. I'll bring our little tractor over and get it picked up and back, and I'll catch up with you there. See you in a bit. Alright, we're all set here to do our mulching. Actually, if we just jump on a cab here, you can see the mulcher looks much better on this tractor. And if you look back down the hill, I brought the Mack up with the Randon trailer, and I just emptied the fertilizer out of it, out of our dryer there. I just left it sit there because it'll likely process some more while we're doing this. So I'll wait until we're done down here this evening, and then I'll go ahead and haul that and dump it in our silo back at the main farm. Yeah, lined up here. Now I think we can just, like I said, never really done these before, but I'm assuming we can just go right down the middle. We don't have to make two runs. You know, one on favoring each side. Now I guess I'm assuming from the look of it, we needed mulch. I suppose we should look out. Yeah, it's definitely making a difference. You can see from the grass up front there. So it's definitely mulching it, so it needs to be done. Our little Landini does the job as intended, no problem at all. Although I think, well, we'll find out when we go downhill. I do think this mulcher runs a little faster than that, but so yeah, we will go down the outside of it. Like I said, I don't know if we have to, but we'll do that. Oh, not much faster, only 8. It's a little bit slower. I don't know how those the new tractors we got in the Antonio Carrero pack. They're actually not as high a horsepower as the Fendt in this one, but there's a new mod that just came out recently that allows you to put in cheap olives and grapes. I guess we can just alternate. Skip rows. Sorry, distracted there. So that we make it cheap for us to expand. I'd like to make sure we have enough olives that we can keep our oil mill running, you know, all year, like once we harvest them. So we'll likely expand our olive production or our olive growth, and maybe we can justify buying one of those new tractors to give it a try. They even have a tracked one. I guess I could look behind me too to make sure we've gone without having to jump out a gap. Oops. Certainly something a little different for Farming Simulator anyway. Hopefully we can get to the point where we can justify owning a harvester for this as well. Right now we'll just lease for this year, I'm sure, unless a deal comes up. I have been keeping an eye on the used market, but there just hasn't been anything really that we could use. I mean, right now, if a harvester came up, would be great, or even a tree harvester, because we are going to do a little more logging this winter, or a harvester for the olives. So, kind of the main things we need. That's why I haven't spent any of that money up there, is mostly because I know we're going to need to get a harvester of some sort. So kind of wait until we get that settled, and then we'll continue our expansion, because we need to add I want to add the seed production and the flour mill, and we need to increase our lime production as well, and I want to buy a piece of equipment before I start doing that. Which one have I not done here? This one here. And we take up the farm shop manager on his offer and buy his lands and do some development there. So we got lots to do yet. We've got to get our cows in. And I think I'm going to hold out and buy that modded cow shed with the robots, because we're kind of doing, you know, modern farming, I guess you'd say, and taking advantage of the productions. I know it's pretty pricey, but I think especially if we might need to wait till we get some logging done, but we can earn enough if we log to put it in. So it's a pretty big step. It's not exactly what you call starting small, but I think that's what I'd like to put in. I don't want to wait too long, because we've invested in the lands and the dryer, so it doesn't make sense to wait too long to do that. Well, anyways, I'll get this finished up. You've probably watched enough of this. I've only got a couple more rows to do anyways. And like I said, I'll get this parked back where it belongs, and I'll take the fertilizer home. And that'll probably be a day here on the farm. And who knows, maybe an episode. Although I don't think we've recorded a half an hour yet, but I'll check that. But it'll probably be tomorrow, and we'll see what we get up to then. So probably see you in the morning, guys. Catch up here later. Well, welcome back. As you can see, it's not the next morning. When I got out and took a look after we mulched, and our field info was only at 93%, and I was a little surprised, because I thought we'd done everything, and that our, you know, we should be much closer to 100, if not 100. So then I looked at the field info here, and it says it needs to be plowed. Now, I was pretty sure we had plowed it, or we have to subsoil it when we first put it in, but maybe that was a mistake. Maybe we need to do it now. So I hooked on our subsoiler here, and that's why I brought you back in, so you can see along with me if this makes any difference. Again, we'll just do one swipe right down the middle. I actually went and traded our subsoiler in. There's a modded one that came out that's just a little bit wider. It has the same horsepower requirement. So I thought it might be, a little better, be less space that wasn't cultivated or subsoiled. Especially seeing as we didn't mulch right out to the, maximum width. Alright, well, let's jump out and see if that made a difference. Oop. It looks like it did. Of course, I left the tractor in the way here. Yes, sir. So maybe that time I took spent cultivating when we first put them in was a waste. Because it certainly appears like I need to do it again. So, a few more trips up and down these rows yet. But I will leave you there this time for this evening. I promise. It'll be the morning when you see me again. I'll just get this done. And our fertilizer moved, and that will be it for today on the farm. So this time I really will see you in the morning. Catch you later. Well, it's the morning, but it's not the next morning, as you can see. I ended up just fast forwarding through the month of July, just selling off our products and doing our line production. And speaking of which, that's why we're down here. You can see our money is up, but it would have been up more if I hadn't done this. So I landscaped an area in and put a shelter in so we could put our equipment under. And I bought the Phoenix dump truck. Now, admittedly, this is cheaty. I kind of told you I was going to do some things that I would use mostly off camera. And so I bought this and put the Unreal capacity on it. And even with trailer fill limits, it'll still hold 82,000 liters of stone. And what we were processing was 60,000 liters, 58 actually. But as you may recall, the manager of No Man's Land's resell, he wanted in on the lime business as well as some extra fertilizer. So this is what I did. I had alluded to I needed to buy something. This is what I wanted to buy because bucketing was just taking too long. I don't mind doing it, but everybody has their limits. And so I fill that up from the conveyor directly here. So I fill it up at the conveyor and dump it in there, and then use it to pull the water trailer around to fill it up with water. And it significantly speeds that process up. So I spent about 155,000, I believe it was, on the truck and the landscaping and the shelter. So that's why our money isn't up quite as much, and that's why I don't feel so bad about making all the money from the biogas is adding to our daily totals in the lime, is because I'm not cheating money in to do this. We're actually doing it from revenue we generate here on our farm or our side businesses, and as most of you I'm sure know, landscaping and that sort of thing is pretty pricey. Our crops are ready. So we need to get a harvester. We have lots of money to do so. But I think that's going to have to be the beginning of the next episode, because I checked our time and I just cannot believe how fast 30 minutes of recording goes. But we have actually gone over by a little bit. So we're going to start off next episode. I haven't even done the chores yet. I'll get the chores done, the pallets sold and all that. I've been doing that pretty much every day just because of that pallet limit. If I left it 2 days and we hit the limit with all the strawberries we make, so I pretty much got to do that every day. I'll do the lime, and then I'll bring you in and we'll get a harvester. So that'll be later today. Oh, and I did pay our loan again in the end of July, so we're down to 60,000 now on our loan, so not much left. Anyways, if you're still with me, I really appreciate it, and I want to thank you for watching. If you found this entertaining or informative in any way, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to see other content like this when it lands, hit that notification bell. But for this episode, that is a wrap. And that's it for me, Farmer Murphy, signing out.